You know that moment when you're staring down the barrel of a choice that'll either damn your soul or save it? I was standing in that dusty town square, watching them auction off a girl like she was livestock, when I saw something that stopped my heart cold. A thunderbird tattoo, spreading its wings across her shoulder. Black ink on bronze skin, identical to the one I'd seen 5 years back on the man who saved my life when I was dying in the desert. Her father. The auctioneer was barking, $5, and the crowd was laughing like hyenas, their eyes crawling over every curve of her body. She stood there defiant as wildfire, those dark eyes daring anyone to claim her, promising ruin to whoever tried. That's when I stepped forward and said the two words that changed everything. I'll take her. Now some folks called me a fool. Others said I'd bought myself a curse. Maybe they were right, or maybe that was the only way a man like me could start paying back a debt written in blood and sand. If you're riding this trail with me, partner, hit that like button and drop a comment. We're heading into territory where angels fear to tread. See, 5 years before that auction, I was half dead in the desert, buzzards already circling overhead. That's when this Indian man found me, calm as still water, with that same thunderbird tattoo spreading across his chest. He gave me water when I had none, a bed when I was broken, and never once asked my name or what I'd done to end up dying under that merciless sun. Good men are rarer than gold out here, you understand. Most folks want something in return, always got their hand out, expecting payment. But this man, he just saw another human being in need and acted. That kind of kindness marks a man's soul. So when I saw that girl up on that platform, saw how the crowd was devouring her with their eyes like she was nothing more than flesh to be bought and used, something in my chest caught fire. The coins hit that greasy auctioneer's palm with a sound like Judgment Day, and just like that, she was free. Or so I thought. Her name was Tala. When she said it, her voice was soft but steady, like she was testing whether I was worthy of even that much truth. We rode out of that godless town fast, her arms around my waist, her body pressed against my back in a way that made my throat tighten. I tried to keep my eyes on the trail ahead, but I could feel the heat of her. Smell the desert dust in her hair. That first night by the fire, she told me her story. Her father was dead, murdered. Her two sisters, Nika and Sana, had been taken by the same outlaws who burned their village to ash and bone. She knew where they were keeping her sisters, a place called Devil's Cut, a canyon where men took what they stole: women, horses, lives. The way she looked at me across those flames. There was pain there, yes, but also something else. A recognition, maybe. Like she understood that we were both carrying wounds that might never heal right. "You're not afraid," she said. It wasn't a question. I smirked, taking a sip from my tin cup. "Not yet." We rode hard the next morning, following signs only she could read. Hoofprints in dry earth, a snapped branch, cold ashes from a dead fire. This land was a map, written in a language no white man understood, and watching her move through it was like watching poetry written in motion. The way she knelt to trace those horse tracks, her hair falling forward to brush her lips. I had to force myself to look away. By afternoon, we found what we were hunting for: fresh wagon ruts, too many horses to count. Tala's knowledge led us true, and by dusk we were crouched on the rim of Devil's Cut, looking down at hell itself. The outlaw camp sprawled below us like a cancer. 3 wagons, half a dozen horses, and at least 10 men with liquor on their breath and murder in their hearts. And there, tied near the fire, like animals, were Nika and Sana, pale but proud, echoes of their sister's defiance burning in their eyes. Then he emerged from the shadows, the leader, lean and scarred, with a cruel grin, that spoke of too many nights spent breaking things that couldn't be fixed. When Tala saw him, her whole body went rigid against mine. "That's him," she whispered, her voice sharp as winter wind. "The one who killed my father." The hate in her eyes could have melted iron. And you know what? I felt it too. Not just for what he'd done to her family, but for every innocent person men like him had destroyed just because they could. We waited until the camp settled, until the outlaws drank themselves stupid and collapsed into their bedrolls. All except their leader, who lingered by the fire, his gaze crawling over those two girls like a snake sizing up prey. Moving down that goat trail in the dark, we were like ghosts given flesh. Tala took out the sentry so quiet he never knew what hit him, her knife across his throat, easing him down gentle as a lover's touch. Beautiful and terrible, that woman was. We reached the sisters without raising alarm. Tala cut their bonds while I kept watch, and for a moment I thought we might actually pull this off clean. Then a bottle clinked against stone, and everything went to hell. An outlaw stirred, blinked at us in the firelight. My knife found his chest before he could cry out, but the damage was done. Another man woke, then another. Gunshots cracked through the night like thunder, bullets sparking off rock as we scrambled up that trail with hell itself chasing behind us. I dropped two men with my rifle while Tala pulled her sisters up the slope, their skirts tearing on jagged stone. The scarred leader's voice roared below, promising blood and worse if he caught us. We made it to where I'd hidden my horse, a good bay mare named Grit. Got the sisters mounted and rode hard into the desert night, the leader's curses fading behind us, but his promise of vengeance hanging in the air like smoke. You might think that was the end of it, stranger. But men like that scarred bastard don't give up easy. They follow grudges like bloodhounds follow scent, and I knew he'd come for us soon enough. Dawn broke red as fresh blood, and sure enough, there was dust on the horizon. A dozen riders, maybe more, coming hard with murder on their minds. Tala tied her hair back, her knife glinting in the morning light, looking like some ancient goddess of war. "They think we're running," she said, her voice steady as stone. I checked my rifle, each cartridge a prayer. "We ain't?" We chose our ground careful, a narrow cut called Death's Hollow, perfect for an ambush. Hid the sisters safe in a cave above the trail, then set our trap. Tala moved like quicksilver, setting snares and deadfalls, while I found myself a good shooting position on the ledge. When those outlaws came thundering down that trail, blind with rage and stupid with confidence, I put my first bullet right through their leader's chest. He pitched forward, his horse screaming as it reared, and chaos erupted like a kicked hornet's nest. The rest of that fight was blood and gunpowder and the taste of desert dust. I kept firing from my perch while Tala danced through the chaos below, her blade finding every gap in their defenses. Two of them broke and ran. I dropped one, but the other vanished into the rocks. When the dust settled, Death's Hollow had earned its name. Bodies scattered like broken dolls. The desert already starting to claim them. And there in the center of it all stood Tala, her hair wild, her knife red, her chest heaving under that torn dress. She looked like something out of legend, beautiful and deadly, and completely, utterly alive. The last outlaw was crawling through the rocks, clutching a bleeding leg, his eyes wide with the knowledge of what was coming. Tala approached him slow, deliberate, like a predator that's already tasted victory. "You killed my father," she said, her voice cold as Winterstone. His mouth opened, but her knife flashed, and he was still. She wiped the blade clean on her skirt and turned to me. "Now it's done." We gathered what we could use from that battlefield and let their horses scatter to the winds. The desert would clean up the rest. It always does, given time. The ride back to Tala's village was different somehow. The weight of vengeance was gone, replaced by something quieter, but no less heavy. She rode between her sisters, their hands clinging to her like she was their anchor in a storm. I kept pace, watching the horizon, feeling something shifting in my chest that I couldn't quite name. When we crested that final ridge and saw their valley spread below, the river glinting like silver, smoke curling from small huts, children running in the grass, I knew this was goodbye. Their people emerged from the village, first cautious, then joyful, as they recognized the three sisters. An elder stepped forward, tall and dignified, with white feathers in his hair. He spoke words I couldn't understand, but Tala translated. "The debt is paid." She was right. The debt was paid, in blood and bullets, and the kind of justice that doesn't come from any courthouse. Her father could rest now, and his daughters were home. I turned to leave, but her voice stopped me. "Thank you," she said. And in those two words was everything we couldn't say. The heat that had burned between us, the choices we'd made, the price we'd both paid for freedom. I tipped my hat and rode away, the desert opening wide before me. From the ridge, I looked back once and saw the three sisters silhouetted against the sunrise, whole again. Some debts are worth every drop of blood it takes to pay them. Others, well, others follow you to the grave. That's my story, friend. If it moved something in your chest, hit that like button and tell me what you'd have done different. We're all just trying to find our way home.